Mmm. What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you my top 10 favorite Korean dramas of all time that you have to watch. I'm sure if you have Netflix, you've been scrolling through and you've been seeing some more Asian content or Korean content. Maybe not. For me, that is all I see now. But Netflix recently shared that they will be spending $500 million this year in South Korea on new content, which is new Korean dramas. I am so excited. Before you dive into the new things, I think these Korean dramas are the staples that you should watch. So I've been watching Korean dramas since I was 8 years old, so there's a lot of drama, so it was very difficult for me to hone in on just my top 10. So here are the 4 criteria in order for the Korean dramas to make it to my top 10 list. Number 1, how invested was I? How well can I relate to the character? Do I feel connected to them? Did I wait every single week for the next episode? Then did I want to binge watch it? Those are all things that tie into how invested I am in a Korean drama, and I love those feelings. You know, when a character cries, I want to cry. It's really intense. Number 2, I look for comedy because I pretty much watch Korean dramas to escape reality and jump into this alternate life. And so comedy has a way of relieving stress and also just adding some light notes into the drama. I am a rom-com person, but I'm okay with crime, thriller, all of that as long as it's done well with a little bit of comedy thrown in. Number 3 is rewatchability. How willing would I be to rewatch this drama? So everything that I'm about to say, I would be a-okay watching it again, or I have watched some of them many times, or I would want to recommend it to a friend and watch it with them. I'd want to re-experience all the things that they are going to experience. There are a lot of Korean dramas that just made me too sad, and so I don't want to relive those moments. And number 4, I feel like not many people care about this, but I am very distracted by it. It's production value. So that's why you're not going to see a lot of dramas that were made way back when that were really good, because the production value was so low. Camera qualities weren't that great, the editing was not that great, and it really bothers me. A couple of these dramas that I'm going to talk about are not on Netflix. I really wish they were, but I'm going to include them anyway just because I feel like it is worth it, and I'll make sure to tag where you can watch it. So I'm going to share my list in the order that I watched them. Number 1, this Korean drama was at the top of my list for the longest time. Probably for about 5 years, all I ever said was this is my favorite Korean drama, and it is My Love from Another Star. It's about a girl who is a celebrity and she is part of the 1%. She's very wealthy, but something happens where there's a bunch of scandals and conversations about her, and her mom mismanages her money, so then she ends up being broke. Her next door neighbor happens to be an alien who is over 400 years old, and it's about time for him to go home. So he has saved her a couple times from near-death experiences, and so she's just living next to this alien. But basically by alien we mean he just never ages and lives a very long time. And it's almost time for him to go home, but of course they start to develop this friendship, relationship, and it's just a really funny romantic comedy, but also I remember crying so much, so many times. These 2 actors are one of the top actors in Korea, so you know they did a really good job. The production value isn't as high as something that you would see nowadays, but it's still okay. I have watched this 2 times. I could probably watch it a 3rd time. And it was just so good, so entertaining, so funny. There's some suspense, there's some comedy, there's some romance. After that Korean drama, I pretty much took a break for 5 years. So in 2019, my mom told me about this next drama and I started watching it. And number 2 is Crash Landing on You. I love this drama so much, and it's pretty much the drama that brought me back into watching Korean dramas after my 5-year break. Think Romeo and Juliet, but romantic comedy and also very ridiculous, but also so much fun, so suspenseful, so great. I know so many people who've watched it, whether they're Asian or not. It is so good. Even people who are Asian and don't watch Korean dramas, they've watched Crash Landing on You. It's amazing. Basically, the story is of this entrepreneur, CEO. She is also the top 1% in Korea. She goes paragliding and she parasails into North Korea. Now, if you don't know the history of North Korea and South Korea, basically after the Korean War, they are not friends at all. And so this South Korean ends up crash landing into North Korea, and she meets a North Korean soldier, and of course his duty is technically technically to turn her in and she would eventually get killed, or he can try to help her escape back to her home. I'm sure you can tell what he decides to do, and that drama is just all about that relationship, that arc, and the struggles of North Korea and South Korea. It's not historical though, so it's really just assuming that you would know all of this watching it. But wow, I watched this drama 3 times because I just wanted to relive the moments as I was watching it. The acting was superb. It was so funny. Parts where they cry, oh my goodness, I literally felt like I was stuck somewhere in another country. It was so good. So after Chloe, which was 2019 to 2020, 2020 was the year of just how many Korean dramas can you watch. I watched 17 Korean dramas in 2020. That is cuckoo bananas. I don't even know where I found all that time, but I did. So after Crash Landing on You, I felt like there was this giant hole in my heart that needed to be filled with a new Korean drama. So I watched 3, Strong Woman To Bong Soon, which at first I thought like that sounds like a very quirky drama, and I watched the first episode and I remember thinking, oh, I don't think I'm gonna finish it. But my friends kept telling me, no, it's good, keep watching. And so I think I just needed to give it time to relate to the characters. So after the first episode, I watched the second one, and then from there I couldn't stop and I binge watched all the way. So it's about this girl who has super strong powers, but pretty much she goes about her everyday life other than the fact that she has superhuman strength. She meets this guy who is the CEO of a gaming company, and he is just so funny, and their relationship dynamic is hilarious. So she ends up getting hired, and there's also some other side crime related things that happen in the drama that keeps it suspenseful, and it keeps you wanting to watch more because you want to find out what happens. But her superhuman strength definitely helps her in certain situations. But it's just really cute to see this small tiny Asian woman being so strong and being stronger than a lot of the men. Number 4, While You Were Sleeping. This Korean drama, oh my goodness, was written so well. It was directed so well. I love it so much. I think if I were to think of a perfect Korean drama where I have no complaints about it, it would be that. While You Were Sleeping was just wow, the writer just shocked me. It's about a girl who has dreams, and every time she has those dreams, they always come true. So there's nothing that she can do to stop the dreams from becoming a reality until she meets a boy who does have dreams, but if he can get to the place at the right time, he can actually stop something from happening or change something from happening. And so the question is, why these two? Why do these people have these dreams? Why is this happening? And then also, the male lead happens to be a paralegal who also solves a lot of crimes. Of course, he'll have dreams about some of his cases, and also to see from a drama perspective how these lawyers handle the law, how they handle crime, and how they pursue justice. It wasn't as funny as the other Korean dramas, but they did try to throw in some humor in there. But wow, I binge watched that, and I watched it twice. Number 5 is Itaewon Class, and this drama I loved so much because it's all about the underdog, you know, trying to make your way and fight your way to the top. It's about this guy whose father worked in the food industry, and the food industry CEO was not very nice to the father or to the son. Eventually something happens where the guy decides, I need to take revenge and I need to prove that I can beat this guy. I'm going to create a restaurant. I'm going to create a food company that can hopefully beat this long-term conglomerate business. I think it's really motivating to see someone go through all these obstacles and say, nope, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep fighting. I think my only complaint would be that his sole purpose in doing all of this was revenge, which I feel like I can't connect too much with. I'd rather have him be driven by love or care or compassion than anger. Really didn't like the female lead, but a lot of people do, and their age difference seemed very apparent. But overall, the story and everything was great. My boyfriend and I also binge watched this. Number 6 is Goblin, the Lonely Guardian. Goblin and the Lonely Guardian. Yeah, that one. In Korean, it's just called Dokkaebi, which means goblin. But it's not like a goblin that you're thinking of. In Korea, a goblin is basically just some spiritual creature that has powers and everlasting life. That's it. So I tried watching Goblin, I think 3 times. And I even tried watching in the middle just to see if I could connect to the characters. And I couldn't, because I saw that female lead and the male lead, they had a big age difference, which I know a lot of people talk about when you search up Goblin. But eventually, I just thought everyone says it's so good. I need to watch it. So after the second episode was when I got hooked, and then after the 7th episode, I binged the rest all in one day. It was so good, so funny, and very heartwarming too. Just about care and compassion, and the bromance in this drama is also hilarious. And I just felt like Gongyu, the male lead, he just did such a natural job in this drama. The first episode is all background. You just have to watch through it because they will reference it throughout the Korean drama. So you have to know the first episode to then be able to understand everything that happens afterwards. But it is all backstory, and so I felt like, what am I watching? Is this a historical drama? I'm so confused. But no, just watch through the first episode to understand the background, and then thereafter it'll all make sense. But it was just so funny. I really liked it. It was good. I was going to rewatch it during Christmas time because it does fall in the winter time, and I was watching something else which I'll talk about at the end. Number 7 is Fight for My Way. So Fight for My Way is about the 4 characters, and they're all striving for their dreams. They all have different dreams and they're all working towards it. But the main characters, one wants to be a broadcaster slash reporter, and then the male lead wants to actually be a fighter. But it was refreshing to watch this drama because in Korea, I feel like a lot of Korean dramas highlight the rich and the glamorous who live in giant penthouse suites, but these characters live in more affordable, cost-efficient homes, which is just nice to see. Normal young adults trying to figure out their lives. So it was a feel-good watch. And we watched it twice. I watched it the first time by myself, and then my boyfriend loves Park Seo-joon, so then we watched it again. Number 8. If you just wanted to see 2 very attractive people together, I'd recommend It's Okay to Not Be Okay. Wow, aesthetically very pleasing. Beautiful Korean drama couples. I connected with the storyline because the main actress is a children's book author. Well, not that I'm a children's book author, but just the fact that, you know, she thinks about those things. I like that. And the male lead works at a psychiatric hospital, and he has an older brother with autism. And so it's all about that dynamic that they share, and she's definitely pursuing him versus him pursuing her. And the children's book author actually has an antisocial disorder, so it did have a very dark undertone, but it was a romantic comedy, and it was something that I look forward to every single week. So there was a lot to unpack, but the character development in this drama was just well paced, and I felt like at the end you feel like they've grown so much. Number 9. Whew, I really look forward to this drama every single week. I loved the tones. I loved how the script was written at first. And I just feel like I would do it a disservice if I didn't include this. It ended up not becoming one of my favorites, but I feel like everyone should still watch it because everyone has talked about it. And it's Startup. It was written by the same writer of While You Were Sleeping. So I had very high expectations, and it was directed by the same person who directed While You Were Sleeping. Again, I love that drama. And so Startup started off so strong. But wow, what happened after episode 12? 13, somewhere around there, it started off talking about how to start a startup company, a tech company. What do you do with AI and machine learning? How do you code? Well, they were starting to talk about all those things, and then towards the end of the drama, it ended up just being the love triangle. The storyline, I feel like I can't really summarize it, but the minute you watch the first 2 episodes, you will be drawn in. I really liked it from the very beginning, and I feel like the actors did such a good job of portraying all of the characters. I just wish the writers ended it a different way, but I get why they did what they did. But that one is a total feel-good drama that a lot of people are still talking about to this day. And finally, number 10, the reason why I didn't rewatch Goblin, because this drama was airing during the winter time, and it's True Beauty. So this is based on a webtoon. So if you've read the webtoon, I've heard it's actually quite different. They were able to create better character development for all of the characters. True Beauty is about a girl who thinks she's really ugly, and she gets bullied at school for her face. So she ends up transferring to another school, and she learns how to put on makeup well so that she can look prettier. Again, may seem very shallow, but it is a high school. I initially thought, oh, this is a high school drama, maybe I can't relate to it, but all the characters don't look like they're in high school, so I felt like the setting didn't really matter. Eventually, one of the male leads finds out who she is, and he still accepts her for who she is, but ultimately throughout the drama she's trying to hide the true fact that she doesn't really like how she looks without any makeup on. And it's not a love triangle, I'd say there's a love square pentagon situation happening, and that was dragged on for quite a bit, but it's still a feel-good drama. And right now I'm watching it for the second time just because I missed all the butterfly cutesy cutesy feeling. So if you're looking for a lot of cheese, this is it. So those are my Korean drama suggestions. I hope you'll give them a try. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!